Let's begin. One night in a quiet and gloomy city, in an old apartment on the top floor, a young woman named Elif woke up in her bed. The apartment was silent, with only the distant creaking of a window being closed. Elif had never heard that sound before, but she didn't pay much attention to it. She took a deep breath and looked around her room. The lights were off, but the moonlight seeping through the window gently illuminated the room. Suddenly, a strange rustling noise from the adjacent room caught her attention. Curiously, she got out of bed and approached the door. The door was partially ajar, with a faint light leaking into the room. Elif tried to see into the room beyond the door, but couldn't make out anything. Slowly, she pushed the door open and entered. As she entered the room, her hair stood on end. In the center of the room, there stood a shadowy figure in front of an old mirror. The shadows were so dense that the figure's face or body was indistinct. Elif trembled as she asked in a quivering voice, "Who's there?" The shadowy figure did not respond. It simply smiled in silence. That smile sent shivers down Elif's spine. She wanted to run, but her legs felt like they were made of stone. In that moment, the shadowy figure suddenly vanished into the mirror. In a panic, Elif ran down the hallway to escape the apartment, but even the corridor had transformed. The walls had decayed and faded, and the rooms were engulfed in darkness. Meanwhile, she heard strange sounds all around her, whispers and hisses. Finally, Elif managed to escape the apartment, but the streets of the city were equally terrifying. The shadowy figure seemed to be following her at every turn. She ran and ran, eventually reaching the doors of a hospital. However, the hospital was also dark and silent. Elif entered and wandered through the hallways. She opened doors, but inside, she found only empty beds and old medical equipment. At last, on the deepest floor, she found a door. When she opened it, a horrifying scene unfolded inside. There were the screams of patients, the dance of shadowy figures, and a terrifying chaos. Elif quickly closed the door, but as it shut, she heard laughter from behind. Finally, Elif woke up. She was drenched in sweat and felt safe in her bed. The events had not been real. It had all been a dream, but she still shivered, and the memories of the dark apartment and the hospital haunted her for some time. This concludes the eerie tale. I hope you enjoyed it.